The donation request,
I'll grab that.
page 47. Councillor Stenhouse.
That council received the request for donation for information.
All right. You want to just say why? Just,
Because we don't have, that fund is at zero.
Yep,
that's right.
that's exactly it.
Okay. Any other discussion on it? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Moving on then to item 13.1, CAO's report and action list.
Lucky 13.
Yeah.
I'll move that we receive the report here for information and the action list.
Okay. So I know this is a combination of two different CAO stuff, but yeah, go ahead.
The report's fairly self-explanatory. I just started here last Wednesday, as all of you are aware. So Brian handled the first few things and passed on the rest to me. We started working on the agenda package together. One thing you notice on the agenda package, I asked Callie to start putting the page numbers in here, so it helps a little bit for council when they're going through it. It happened tonight, they were trying to figure out which minutes we were on, it's page. That does help. I met with Comet from MMSA, and so we talked about a few things. We looked at a few development permits and issues that are going through. The one that's going to be coming will be from the people at the Dairy Queen. Just so that everybody's aware, I'm not sure if everybody's aware, it's more than just a Dairy Queen, it's a gas station, it's a convenience store, and they sound fairly positive. We talked to the owner there, so it's a good thing, especially with that sitting vacant recently, or the old dairy building there. It's, I'm not sure when the time, 2008 when I got here, so it's good to see that happening. It's been a lot longer than that. Met with some of council, not all is yet. We had some meetings together already. I won't report too much on the meetings because I would imagine meetings go as well. The municipal, and I'm new to it, so I got a few points in, but I try to stay out of it as much as possible. It's for the councillors that represent the municipality. I did have some matters that came up since I got here, and that's why I put something in there for a closed session, some personnel and leadership. There were a couple other things that we should probably talk about while we're in there, but right now, I haven't got a lot to talk about. The action log, you've seen that, gone through it. I'll just entertain any questions.
All right, Councillor Martins.
Okay, so I know there was a transition with you and Mr. Martinson. Was that performance evaluation of senior staff, was that done in tandem? Were you both?
No, because I didn't supervise their work performance at all. So it's best for me to stay out of that. And it's a confidentiality thing. And so Brian had, the short time that he was here since April, and then he was briefed by the supervisors. So it's also a matter of just having two people at the debrief.
So that was surprising to me because I thought that we had a process where it happened at the end of a calendar year. He was here for 2 months in an acting position. That was surprising to me. Anyone else on council surprised by that, or was that par for course? I mean, I'm surprised that an acting CEO, and I'd like to know who was evaluated and what came out of it. So were all staff increased in grid steps or whatever? What was the output of that particular line item? And who authorized it at this time of the year? It's a weird time for an acting CEO to be executing.
I don't know the answer to your question, other than you're assuming that all PAs are done at the end of the fiscal year. I don't know if that's the case, but may not be, right? They might do it at the 1-year anniversary of their hire or something like that. So I don't know how they work their PA cycles with the town.
And that would make sense because the anniversary date would be the trigger for the grid jump, if there's one entitlement there for it. person may have already been at their maximum level, but because that's the date that they come up, then you just continuity, keep it on that
That
date.
makes sense.
And it saves someone from the staff or the supervisors that do have to do them, rather than have to come up with all of a sudden 10, 5, you know, it's hard enough to do 2 or 3 at the same time.
Yeah, and that's fair and reasonable, so how many coincidentally had anniversary dates in the last 2 months?
I can't answer that because I wasn't in those meetings, but
Anyone else here though? No?
and for that matter there, that falls under the CAO's responsibility and those supervisors, so, you know, we could get the information if council really found that they needed it, but it'd be something to bring back to camera. I'll probably advise against because you're getting personal information about employees and it's not something that's normally done.
But how does this affect our budget?
The budget's done when they do, I can't speak to it, I know how it used to be done. That when the budget's done up, they look at the employees, they look at the positions, the salary grid level that they're at, when their expected increase dates would be. So they usually do put that number in there, so if it's going to be halfway through the year, and the grid jumps an extra $3,000 a year, let's say, then there'd be an extra $1,500 this year, and then $3,000 would be added to next year's number. It's in the budget that way. If the person doesn't perform and does not get the grid jump, then that money will stay in the budget. And I do want to apologize because I'm not used to this thing, so sometimes I'll speak with or without it. I can usually speak loud enough without it, but I'll try to remember it as much as possible.
Okay, other questions? Councillor Tanaka?
And you may not have the answers to these, Herman, but one is I took a drive around town and there's some I guess, who's responsible for the grass that's in front of Mohawk? And who's responsible for the grass that's around Richard's Lumber? And specifically in Cornerstone, there's like thistle field this high
Okay.
in there. I don't know if the town is responsible for that because it's there, or if the lot owners at Cornerstone, I don't know if all those lots have sold.
In the case of Cornerstone, even if they haven't sold, then the developer would still be responsible for them, or the person who owns the land. I know these lands were sold out to the original developer, because that was back a long time ago. And then the town gave the money to them, I didn't say they gave it to them, but they advanced money to them for that. But, so that owner, if it's still the person who's developing down there, he would still be responsible for it. If it's somebody who bought a lot with the intention of doing something there, they would be responsible. Alan's been off on holidays, he's just back this day, so I would imagine he will, I suspect he's the one that goes around and writes up things.
Well, I would assume, especially with Cornerstone, with it being this
Yeah,
high and full
it's
of
been a long time.
thistle, it's been a long time that that's not been addressed.
That's the one. All I know is Alan did say he's been out, he's been writing a lot of paper,
Okay.
but
I
I'll
guess-
check with him tomorrow, and
Okay.
also Erica when she's back.
Okay, and my other question, I've been getting complaints again, continually, regarding, were we MCON, La Prairie Group,
It's LaPrairie.
I don't know who they are anymore, with their site across the tracks, and the plethora of noise that starts at 6 and goes till 11. The residents that are near there are really getting tired of that. Badly, like they're getting really tired of the noise, and again, it's gonna be in the winter time as well, because they're gonna have the snow plows. And I don't know if they have a development permit or whatever they're doing, they're digging dirt and hauling out dirt and bringing dirt back, I don't know what they're doing there. If they need a development permit, I don't know.
I suspect what they're doing, and I can't speak for it without talking to somebody, is they're probably bringing their sand stock for this upcoming winter. I'm not sure if what they're digging up, if it's for expansion for the sand lot. I know from being from here before, when they first moved that from over at the west end of town, over to there, and there was a lot of complaints because all of a sudden there was some new noises there. And those vehicles, when they put them in reverse, they automatically go into, it's a safety matter.
Yes, the beep beeps that start at 6 o'clock in the morning, and of course now they're, like I said, now they're digging and hauling out, so you have all these big trucks that are coming through there, rumbling through, and like, I mean, this has been a constant thing, we've dealt with this constantly, you know, from Tammy Napier, who lives right across, she's come to council, I don't know how many times, and we were looking at solutions, we built the fence a little higher, that doesn't seem to be abating the problem. I mean, I personally, I don't even know why it got approved to be in a residential area, but that was before my time, but if there's some way we can figure out what they're doing and, cause I mean, we have our bylaw of quiet time from, you know, 9 till, or 8 to 11, not 6 to midnight,
It's actually 7 till 10.
Yeah.
you know?
Again, I could ask Al to check into that, and maybe just go talk to them and remind them that, you know, they are close to a residential area, that maybe, you know, 7 o'clock, they can't do it, once 7 o'clock comes along,
That's
you know,
bylaw,
it's,
noise bylaw.
yeah, so that's all we can enforce. It's no different than some of the other people who complain about railroad noise. And the trains are coming here at 2 o'clock in the morning, because I'm only a block and a half away from that one, and as they're coming into town, I sleep through most of it, but there's the odd night where it's,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they're even worse over there because they're in between the two,
Yeah.
between the tracks and.
Yeah, so if you could
Yeah.
check with Alan regarding MCON or whatever, and then the cornerstone
Cornerstone, I've
there.
heard them both down, so
Perfect, thank you.
you're welcome.
And this goes with the grass cutting. We made a motion at our last meeting to correct the motion that was made previously in January, that the grass cutting was to be for, that we would stop doing it for residential, commercial, and industrial.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, our website doesn't reflect that. On the website, it only says residential. And I noticed we have 2 employment notices on the website also for Public Works. And
And they were also in the paper this week, and I
Yeah.
was going to talk about some of that when we get into a closed discussion.
okay, very good.
Okay? Overlaps several things.
Okay,
Okay, I had a question, just you were talking with Commenti, and they had applied on a grant to do some asset management planning with us. Is there any update on that? As they got the grant, are we gonna get asset management planning through them?
We did get a response back from FCM that the grant, I believe, was approved for the town of High Prairie, but then we still have to do the partnership and get grants from other locations and that. But so that's something that the staff have to work on now that we've got notification on that. But, and Commenti's where's over that as well.
But wasn't it MMSA that applied on
Yes.
behalf of everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a group.
It was a group, but they only approved us?
No, they approved it.
Oh, okay.
We're not special.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'd like to think.
So it is gonna come, it's now just to work on the details of what we're
Exactly.
getting. Oh, okay,
And,
well, that's good news.
Yeah, and I was talking with,
Very
the
good.
treasurer about that also, because it's something that's been on the list here for a long time, that needs to be done.
Yes, big time. Okay,
Anything else?
anything else? Oh, we had the motion to receive for information. All in favor? Carried. Going to 14.1, Counseling Alberta. Any motion on Councillor Dunn?
The council agrees to work alongside Council in Alberta.
Okay. What they were really asking for is that we would, I guess, in some way, shape or form, promote that on our website,
Yeah.
Facebook page, so, okay. Councillor Stenhouse?
so if you read the letter, in the very first paragraph, it says, we are a nonprofit organization. In the third paragraph, it says we operate on a sliding pay scale model. Conflicting information there. Are they nonprofit or do they charge for it?
No, it's nonprofit in the sense that nobody makes, that they as a company don't make any profit, but somebody has to pay for their counselors. So they have a pay scale, it's sliding, depending on your income. If you don't make any money, you can't pay. They still provide service. And it depends on your income, what you get. So if you're on AISH, you may pay, $20 an hour. If you make an income, a reasonable income, you may pay $30 an hour.
Councillor Yushishin?
So just reading it here and looking at it, it doesn't look like they're looking for any monies per se. It says that they're asking Town of High Prairie to spread the word by tapping into our local networks. I think that's,
That's basically what
Is
they're
that-
looking for. Yeah,
okay.
just it's a free advertisement,
yeah,
and to let
okay.
them know that they're out there,
So
what
we're
they
support,
provide. So
basically.
we'll put something up on our website, and as much as you can, we'll put it on the Facebook page, but Facebook's liable to just disappear somewhere. And having a town website, that's the most, the only thing you really can't control. I don't stay away from Facebook altogether, it's not a bad thing, it's not good, but sometimes it's not a bad thing to put something like that up. People will take that discussion around and pass the information out a lot faster because they don't necessarily visit our website that often.
That's right, yeah.
You can tell that by the misinformation some people have.
And the reason it's a benefit is, and they do, like you said, but it's a sliding pay scale. But for anybody that has had to do with mental health or had friends that refer to mental health, there's like a 6-month wait list a lot of times. And so this service has, like, it's impacted I know other areas that have brought this in, and it's totally impacted, allowed people at least to have somebody to talk to. So,
It's rain.
Wow.
like when suicide is the only reason you get into mental health, that's a concern. When people are severely depressed and they can't get in for 6 months, it's crazy. So, anyway, my thoughts.
Okay, any other thoughts on this one?
No, it's good. Good
All
stuff.
right, all in favor? Carried. FCSS report, motion on this. Councillor Shishin?
The council received the FCSS June report for information.
Yes, I have comments.
Okay, go ahead.
So I want everyone to have a look at that bus trip and the expenses, because this is coming up in intermunicipal. They want us to fund, they're asking us to fund 50/50 for the bus now. So pay attention, I did the calculations on these bus trips. I'd like you guys to do your calculations and see how expensive these bus trips are for someone to take a bus from the lodge to the drugstore or A&W. So just keep that in mind, because that's coming through, that they want us to now fund that bus 50%.
What's the percentage now?
We give 10,000.
Flat.
Yeah, flat rate.
What would 50/50 be?
Oh,
Yeah, well, it would, you're right, we don't want to get into that discussion, because we'll get all the information and you can see it.
Right.
That was a discussion item at the intermunicipal yesterday, and it will come to our council to decide, but there's a lot of information behind it, and you'll get it all when it comes to council. Anything specific to these FCSS information that they provided, the report? Seeing none, all in favor? It's carried. And then to our reports. Councillor Daneka.
I had one museum meeting. Dardine is working on the stats that was requested by, I believe, Councillor Stenhouse and Councillor Martin. She should have that by Thursday of this week. We're looking at having a open house for the Truth and Reconciliation exhibit that Darlene has been working on for Aboriginal Day, which I believe is September the 20th. We'll have a meeting in August to sort of finalize timeframes and other particulars regarding that. We're still waiting for, hopefully we'll know by the end of August, what monies the museum will be given from their casino. And Darlene is working on a couple of grants, museum grants that just came down the pipe. I'm not exactly, I can't remember what they were for, but they just came down. So I will probably have more information once she's completed the application process and will update us at our next meeting. Other than that, that's my verbal report. I move for information.
Questions or comments for Councillor Daneka? All right, all in favor? Carried. Councillor Dunn?
June 31st.
June 30th?
Or what?
June 31st? No such
30th.
date. There you go.
I need my calendar. We had a meeting with Children's Resource Council. We have hired a CEO.
Can you use your mic?
Sorry.
Thank you.
We've hired a CEO with them, and so that person will be learning all the, it'll be a steep learning curve initially. And yeah, moving ahead, it'll be exciting to see where we head. Then I was at the intermunicipal meeting yesterday, and a lot of things came up. What Judy talked about in terms of the bus trip. Also, there appears to be, I don't want to talk about this here, but there was discussion around intermunicipal agreement and things like that. So I move my report as presented.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Councillor Martins?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Aside from all the other things that everyone else has done, the airport committee met after a good 6-month break. We had some new updates, besides the usual flight stats and so forth. We had updates on the new system. I think I might have mentioned to council last time that there's a credit card system that's going to be updated, or wishes to be updated. Now, we don't deal with capital costs, the Big Lakes County does. However, we are on the hook for operating costs, and there were 3 options presented. On all of them, it's going to, there's going to be 2 of them specifically are going to have larger costs, so that's something for us to be aware of. It's not come to council yet. It's going to go to Big Lakes for the capital expenditure, and then we have our annual barbecue coming up in September, so that long weekend. Yeah, it's looking good. We've gotten some good feedback. The fuel costs or fuel sales are are on par. Yeah, that's my report. I move my report for information unless anyone has questions.
Don't see any. All in favor? For myself, had a meeting with Inca Consultants, the Alberta North Central Alliance. They got a grant to hire a consultant to help with the strategic planning with that group. The consultant is named Cornerstone Planning Group. They're meeting with each of the municipalities to learn more about them, see what their priorities are. So we met with them, and when I say we, it was me and Brian Martinson. We also, as in the report, met with the Dairy Queen, or Daniel Park. He's eager to get started. He was interested in trying to find some people that could cut down the trees. He wanted to see if the town, if he paid us, if we would take them down. But his comment was, we're doing other things in this short construction season, so we gave him the name of 4 other people that could do the work. He's very interested. I know he's looking to apply for the development permit. He's apparently bought a house in town for some of his crew, so they're really committed, I think, which is good. Pleasant View Lodge had a meeting on the expansion. We're still getting told August 23rd is the completion date. I'm still very skeptical it's not going to make it. But they have a lot of people going on in there right now. They got flooring people in there. They got the painters in there. The siders are siding the exterior and working their way around. So there's lots going on right now. And there's going to be lots going on according to the contractor in the next month and a half. Intermunicipal, as we said, attended with John and Judy. They talked about 5 quick things: the advertising for the members at large in the Attraction and Retention Committee. Talked about IT services, sort of a shared IT services. Talked about the Big Lakes County bus program and the capital grant that they are looking to give us in the future. So all of those things will be, and sort of a rec sponsorship we talked a little bit about too. Those things will be coming back to council to discuss more. And just today I received just a request to participate in the parade for the road. That's it.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm done.
Okay, so when may I purchase a DQ Blizzard?
Next trip to Slave Lake.
Yeah, we did get one.
In town.
In town. Yeah, they didn't give a date on when they would be open.
Probably the same time as Jimmy's.
No, it won't be the same time as Tim's. But, they're looking at getting started soon, and he was thinking that, they would be done for spring. They should be open, but he didn't have a specific date yet.
And will you do parade rodeo or going to cowboy hat?
Well, in the past, usually just walked around and gave candy out.
Wasn't the mayor riding a classic car?
That
Jeep.
or Jeep. Well, we had
Or a
one Jeep
horse,
we
I
walked
saw
around with.
Or a wagon?
Well, we did get a Jeep before. We'll have to see. We'll have to do something to decorate something, put it out there for the town of High Prairie.
I'm sure if you ask Kelly over at Big Lake Stodge that he'd lend you a Jeep.
Jeep for, yeah.
I'll just call him and say, hey, because tradition, I can't speak for the last couple of years. Oh, we haven't had a rodeo, but, we always, when I was at the dealership, we always provided a vehicle. for the mayor, the MLA, the MP, and Ricky Ticky, the clown. Well, because the Julie was out, it was the barrel truck, but it's just something to check out.
Yeah, so we can look into that, and we'll probably have to get some candy to give out to the kids, and get that in there. Find a deal for it. Yeah. And we'll suck up the candy that's left on the street and take it away from the kids, yeah.
And this year, for whatever reasons, they changed the parade route,
Yeah.
which makes absolutely no sense to me, but.
I talked to somebody.
It's in the paper.
It's in the
Paper
paper.
now? But they were talking from down by the hospital because of the seniors.
Down by the hospital, by UFA, by the school, by, it's not crossing the highway, so it's not shutting the highway down, so, yeah, I gotta look at this route closer because I can't figure it out.
Yeah, they tried to get away from crossing the highway and the issues of closing the highway down are big.
And part of it was for the seniors that are in the long-term.
Okay, anything else? I move my report for information, all in favor? Carried. Councillor Stenhouse?
So I just want to touch on the intermunicipal, on the IT services, be prepared. Because we have an old system here, and for us to amalgamate with them, with their system, we're gonna have to do some major upgrades, so that's gonna be a huge ticket item coming to us, so keep that in mind also. I move my verbal report for information.
Questions? No, all in favor? Councillor Waco?
It's raining.
None of my committees
Is that
have
the
been
air
since our
conditioning
last
raining?
meeting.
It's
Okay,
raining.
No report.
No,
Councillor
Jesus.
Shishin?
I just had the one meeting, July 7th was the airport committee meeting. Councillor Martin said, touched on majority there and what the main conversation was there. Also too, with the barbecue, there's conversation on the setup for the barbecue for September. And I really think, just to add, I think it's really great for the town and community because it really brings people in. It brings people as the destination point here. It gives the town and the community exposure here. Not only that, but it sells fuel as well. So I think it's good all around. And I caught up a little bit with Mel Baudet there. He was explaining a little bit about the spray planes because the planes were sitting out there. And of course I was curious and I was having a look. So actually I caught up with him with a number of things there. And it was interesting to listen to the two experienced guys in that regard there and some of the things that were happening at the airport and some improvements there that's going on. I move my report for information, verbal report for information, unless there's any questions.
I got a question. So this this barbecue, it used to be a fly-in barbecue. Is
That's
it
right.
still the
It is,
same?
yeah.
So it's not an
Well, I don't know
open,
if
it's not an open barbecue to the community?
No,
It's a
no.
fly-in barbecue for the
Correct, yes,
pilots?
exactly, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it was before, but this is fine.
Yeah, it was a fly-in breakfast, but it was open to the community.
No, it's never
At
been
that
open
time?
to the community.
Yeah, I don't know about that part, but
Donna, because I've seen albums from previous years, it's a closed group, there's about 50, we have a budget of 500, it's never been, well, in the albums I've seen, so I'm going back 5 years, it's not
Oh,
been
okay.
open. So before that, possibly.
Oh, okay.
although there could be local people though, I'm thinking, that would be maybe there, that's part of the flying, part of that kind of organization, I don't know. I'm
The
not
only
sure.
local people that'll be there will be the airport committee and the workers, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
usually a fly-in barbecue
For people
promoted for
flying,
all
okay,
the
that's what I
pilots,
understand, okay,
It's probably worth clarifying, just to
yeah,
see if we can
Yeah.
find out for sure before then, so it's clear.
yeah.
I know if I go back, part of the intent, and this is going back a ways there, when they did did one of the first ones was to show off all of the improvements that had been done.
That was more an open house, that wasn't
Yes.
the fly-in barbecue.
Yeah, but it was tied in at the same
Oh,
time.
okay.
There was it was open to the public, but I don't know if it's changed since then. That goes back a ways.
Ever since I've been on the airport
Yeah.
committee, it's been a private, well, it's been a fly-in barbecue.
You guys are all welcome to come and help at the barbecue.
Yeah.
Call for volunteers,
Yeah.
September 2nd.
Did we vote on yours? No, okay. Did you move?
I did.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Do we want to take a short break and then go in, or do we want to go straight in?
No, I need to go, let's do this, because I need to
Okay.
go, my windows are open.
All right,